on down to the oasis, so I've got a friend in low places. I guess I was wrong, I just don't belong. But then, I've been there before. Everything's alright, I'll just say goodnight and I'll show myself to the door. Hey, I didn't mean to cause a big scene, just give me an hour and then all these highs that ivory tower that you're living in. 'Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay. Yeah, I'm not big on social I'll slip on down to the oasis, so I've got a friend in low places. I've got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And I'll be okay.
Real Country with Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places, and here's Randy Travis.
Suppose I called you up tonight and told you that I love you, and suppose I said I want to come back home, and suppose I cried and said I think I've finally learned my lesson, and I'm tired of spending all my time alone. If I told you that I realize you're all I ever wanted, and it's killing me to be so far away, would you tell me that you love me too, and would we cry together? Or would you simply laugh at me and say, I told you so? Someday you'd come crawling back and asking me to take you in. I told you so, but you had to go. And now I found somebody new, and you will never break my heart in two again. If I got down on my knees and told you I was yours forever, would you get down on yours too and take my hand? Where'd we get that old time feeling? Would we laugh and talk for hours, the way we did when our love first began? Would you tell me that you've missed me too, and that you've been so lonely, and you've waited for the day that I return, and we'd live in love forever, and that I'm your one and only? Or would would you say the tables finally turned? Would you say I told you so? Oh, I told you so. I told you someday you'd come crawling back and asking me to take you in. I told you so, but you had to go. And now I found somebody new, and you will never break my heart in two again. And now I found somebody new, and you will never break my heart in two again.
Real country.
Now in Beacon and Newburgh at 96.5 FM.
Well, I ain't never been a bar without time. No, I can't swig that sweet champagne. I'd rather drink beer all night in a tavern or in a honky tonk or on a four-wheel drive tailgate. I've got posters on my wall of Skinner, Kid and Street. Some people look down on me, but I don't give a rip. I stand barefooted in my own front yard with a baby on my hip, 'cause I'm a redneck woman. I ain't no high-class broad. I'm just a product of my raising. I say, hey, y'all, and yee-haw. And I keep my Christmas lights on my front porch all year long. And I know all the words to every Charlie Daniels song. So here's to all my sisters out there keeping it country. Let me get a big hell yeah from the redneck girls like me. Hell yeah! Victoria's Secret, well, their stuff's real nice. Oh, but I can buy the same damn thing on a Walmart shelf, half price. It still looks sexy, just as sexy as those models on TV. No, I don't need no designer tag to make my man want me. You might think I'm trashy, a little too hardcore, but in my neck of the woods, I'm just a girl next door. Hey, I'm a redneck woman. I ain't no high-class broad. I'm just a product of my raising. I say, hey, y'all, and yee-haw. And I keep my Christmas lights on my front porch all year long. And I know all the words to every Tanya Tucker song. So here's to all my sisters out there keeping it country. Let me get a big hell yeah from the redneck girls like me. Hell yeah! I'm a redneck woman. I ain't no high-class broad. I'm just a product of my raising. I say, hey, y'all, and yee-haw. And I keep my Christmas lights on my front porch all year long. And I know all the words to every old folks' sleeping song. So here's to all my sisters out there keeping it country. Let me get a big hell yeah from the redneck girls like me. Hell yeah!
On 920 WGHQ, 1260 WBNR, 1420 WLNA.
Good morning. You're now listening to Kingston Community Radio, airing on FM 92.5 and AM 920 WGHQ, Kingston, New York. This programming is brought to you by our listeners and corporate underwriters who are interested in presenting local community radio. The opinions expressed on this program do not represent those of Pamel Broadcasting or Kingston Community Radio. Listeners are encouraged to send in $10 per month to help bring this program to you. Mail your contributions to Kingston Community Radio, Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402. For more information or to donate online, visit our website at mykcr.org. And good morning. This is Dan Gatis, and thank you for tuning in, sharing the morning with us, being early birds. Friday, March 12th, 52 degrees here in uptown Kingston. Weather and forecast today, abundant sunshine, just like now. And it was a gorgeous sunrise. High 59 today. It's going to stay sunny all day. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a low down to 27. And Saturday, mainly sunny again all around, and a high of 46. Saturday night, mostly clear, a low near 30. And we'll be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Jackie Lovezzo. I'm from Lake Katrine, and I support the Kingston Community Radio because it is an invaluable resource to the community and its residents.
And we're back. Thank you for listening to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. And we are super blessed today to have the tourism gurus in the house. Okay. Good morning. How you doing, Fran?
Good
How you doing,
morning.
Rick?
Good morning, Dan. Fran DiPetrolo-Savoca and Rick Remsnyder here, and it's funny you call us the tourism gurus because we're the former tourism gurus. Don't be misled.
Yeah, don't be misled. Okay. Well, you do bear a great badge. Okay. You've done a lot for this county. Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, thanks, Dan. Fran and I were a team for 7.5 years?
Yeah.
And I retired. It'll be 6 months next week. And Fran was a great deputy. But we're on equal footing in this show.
Yeah.
This
is a brand new repairing in a whole new realm, right?
So you could tell me to go fly a kite anytime you want.
Oh, geez, after 7.5 years, I finally get to say it.
For the 7.5 years, all that stuff you really wanted to say, you could let go.
Let it loose, Fran.
Right?
Nope, it was a good run. And yeah, nothing better than tourism in Ulster County to promote, right?
Yes, we had some good times, and right now we're going through, obviously, a rough patch. But hopefully things will, we're on the uptick, hopefully,
on the
you think?
uptick, yeah. And while there are, unfortunately, so many industries and so many corners of industries that have suffered terribly through this, there are still parts that are thriving and doing okay, and people have reinvented themselves to do what they do, and we're just so happy for the businesses that are blessed enough to have made it through, and hopefully they're all on the uptick, everybody.
Yeah, and by the way, this is our first show together, which is...
Our first show together, and how did this happen?
Oh, I don't know. You know, Lawrence, he's very persuasive, right, Dan?
He's good at that. He's good at that.
Good at that.
It makes you feel guilty, you know. You got to do this show. Come
What
on.
are the odds, though, of after working together for, over 7 years like that, all of
I
a
couldn't think
sudden
of
we're
it.
just paired up on the radio?
I can't think of anything better.
Well, here we are.
Repairing.
And so
I liked that
a
double
repairing.
entendre there.
Not a recoupling, a repairing.
Yeah.
But we're excited for these Fridays that we do get to be on Kingston Community Radio. And of course, we're going to lean towards our guests being tourism industry related because it's just our passion. But who do we have coming on today?
Well, you have 7:30 is
Amberly
Kingston
Jane
Wire.
Campbell from Kingston Wire. So she'll be full of all kinds of information from every corner of the county. And so we're looking forward to Amberly coming on at 7:30. And then at 8 o'clock, calling in.
Yeah, Charles Ferry from Star Vodka, town of Esopus. Really interesting guy. I've talked to him several times over the last couple weeks. So his new business will be opening in a couple months over there. It's a beautiful big building.
Hudson House
Distillery.
Yep. Hudson House Distillery, is that right? And yeah, right on the river side of 9W, the east side of 9W in Esopus. Can't wait till that is totally complete. I think they're opening in sections, but we'll probably find out more from Charles.
Charles will talk to us about it, yeah.
Okay, and then at 8:30, we have Raleigh Green coming back in. Tony and I had him on a few weeks ago. So Raleigh Green Inc. and, all kinds of marketing, branding, and Raleigh's always on a topic that we can chat about. So we're looking forward to Raleigh Green coming in at 8:30 to 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we worked with, I don't know if you were on board or not when, going back, Raleigh was working for the city of Kingston marketing for a couple of years. So were you?
I worked with Raleigh while I was at the Ulster County Regional Chamber of Commerce. Okay. So then the transition into tourism, working with Raleigh, felt seamless. And I always remember the event he did for Boyce's Dairy. I think it's still like the longest running ice cream sundae. Did you go downtown for that? It was on the Kingston.
You're not going to believe this because you know how much I like ice cream. I have to admit this, Dan. I have never been to Boyce's Dairy.
Oh, Rick Remsnyder.
Is that sacrilegious
this is
or what?
the Boyce's Dairy cow pie.
Next time you have to go to the post office or you're driving headlong down Broadway, take a pullover and see them on O'Neill Street. It
the
is
best
worth
ice
it.
cream.
It's a wonderful institution. It really is a wonderful institution there at that corner.
Do we have a cow pie to give away at 8 o'clock?
Don't know.
Are there birthdays?
Looks like there are.
Oh, we're giving a Boyce Dairy Milk House cow pie at a birthday pie.
We have birthdays for Saturday and Sunday.
Cool.
You know, one thing I wanted to touch on was I was watching the show a couple weeks ago when you had, I believe it was you and Tony and Lorraine Salmon maybe, and you began, I've been looking at shows that have been archived. People should know that these, if they don't, go to the website or
www.mykcr.org.
Yep.
Yes.
And I was looking at the show. I thought it was very interesting. And it was about the new Bearsville Theater. I think actually Lisa Berger was on.
Oh, it was
and
Lisa
Dan
Berger's,
was talking
yes.
about that. So I went in and I looked at there was a video that John Sebastian did, 5.5 minutes. I Googled that. And I tell you, they've done an amazing job, but that place is unbelievable.
Yes,
you
mentioned
he's a good spokesperson for that. Yeah.
Lisa Berger. She is the director of Ulster County Tourism and doing a phenomenal job. And she went out to visit the new Bearsville Theater, and she just cannot speak highly enough of the renovations and all the possibilities to come at the Bearsville Theater. So very excited for that.
I'm hoping that, and I'm sure they will, when the space limitations are lifted. That used to be a great place, not only for concerts,
Great. You've been to a few concerts
Yeah,
there.
I saw Roger McGuinn there once. Excellent. One of the founders of the Byrds. I saw a band called Cracker. That was one of the last shows I saw there from West Coast. And they used to have, I don't know if you remember this or not, Dan, they had boxing shows at the Bearsville Theater. And I remember the Kingston Boxing Club was one of those that participated. They were amateur fights. And Billy Costello, the former super welterweight champion who I covered in the 80s.
Sure, yeah.
When he won the title. I actually went down when he won the title in Beaumont, Texas. Unfortunately, Billy's passed away. But him and his brother, Vinny, were great boxers and brought a lot of notoriety. There were like 3 nationally televised fights at the Midtown Neighborhood Center. I guess it's now the Andy Murphy.
Right, so he still lives on as a statue in the front of that exact institution right there.
That statue's kind of been on the move.
Yeah, and it seems that it could very, it just seems like it has its home right there.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot.
Since he fought there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's 3 times he defended his title successfully there. But anyway, the Bearsville Theater, I mean, it was just some great concerts. And now they've done a wonderful job. I almost didn't recognize it because the last time I was there, there were no seats. The floor was open. All they had was the balcony. And so when I was watching the John Sebastian video, I saw they have, you've been there, right, Dan? You were talking about
I was there for the Guitar Expo. Every October, there used to be a guitar exposition of luthiers.
Right, yeah.
Like that. So I would go. It's been a couple years, but I was there like about a week ago. I was there just to hook up with some of the WDST people. And Liz, who now has acquired it and really is embracing everything that Bearsville ever was and ever can be. She's a visionary, and she's in the right place at the right time right now with Bearsville, because there is a growing energy there, and it's a powerful energy, and it exudes that energy that Woodstock is, and all that those American creative forces can be.
Sure.
It really is a good aggregation.
We need to get up there and take a look at it. But I could see from the video that they had a mural with all the people that had either performed in Woodstock or recorded in Bearsville. And it's, I could spend hours talking about some of the music that was performed and made there. But, Albert Grossman obviously started it, and, he brought in people like Dylan and Janis Joplin, and, you can go on down the line, the band, obviously. And so what a great place. And I hope that, I think that they will be successful, because people are looking to go to nice, small concert venues.
So if anybody's just tuning in, that's the Bearsville Theater that we're talking about, and they're not officially open yet.
I don't think so, are they? No. So,
but soon to come, so everybody keep your eyes out for that.
We got to get these concerts going. I have tickets still pending to go to 4 Rolling Stones concerts. My son and I were huge Stones fans. We went the last time they had a tour, like 2-3 years ago. So we have tickets for 2 at Giant Stadium, 1 in Buffalo, and the other one, I believe, is in Cleveland. And then we have tickets for like Roger Waters. We have tickets for the Black Crowes, like 4 of them. All these got postponed, I'm hoping. So
yeah,
I'm a little concerned. I'm not worried about Roger Waters and the Black Crowes, who I'm a huge fan of. But as each day goes by with the Rolling Stones, they're not getting any younger. So I'm hoping maybe the spring or the summer of next year we'll get those concerts done. And it'll be they just celebrated the 50th anniversary of their, one of their albums. I forget which one it was, but might have been Goat's Head Soup or something. But, I'm sure all these places are just so anxious to have concerts come back. So we're getting there. It's
getting there. Yeah.
I don't think, maybe some of the smaller bands that don't attract as many people, maybe this year, maybe in the fall, a couple thousand. But of course, the huge bands like the Rolling Stones and,
We're just going to draw too much of a crowd. People already have their tickets, apparently, for the tour. So, yeah. We need those numbers to open up, and we need to get more vaccines going. But supposedly they're on their way, the vaccines, get everybody vaccinated so that we can have these events.
Well, one of the advantages of me being over 65, we won't say how many years I'm over 65. I've got both of my vaccines.
Good for you.
So I'm all set there. And, it's interesting. I know you know this, but the rollout for the county was not, they didn't get a lot of vaccines to start. And I signed up for the list. And, of course, I wasn't that confident I was going to get shots right away. So I ended up, going to, and I encourage people now, I think you should get on that list, and the county is really getting the vaccines out now. Because now that I've had both shots, I'm starting to get emails from the county. You can have your...
Yeah, I did too. So you unsubscribe and let them know that you had gotten your shots.
Yep.
That's good to know.
Yeah, that's, I think that was the most cogent thing to do. Was I did the same thing because I got my shots at CVS, and as they were starting to open up and come through, and then I did get the heads up from the county that they were going to be offering shots, and I can make an appointment. So give it to somebody else. Mm-hmm. Give that appointment spot to somebody
definitely.
else. Let them know that you got your shot if you did. Yeah.
That's very important.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing a good job of finally, it's all dependent, obviously, on the number of vaccines they get. But
it's a lot of hard work to coordinate all the volunteers and get everybody in there that is eligible to be in there and get vaccinated with what they have received. Yeah, it's a lot of work. So kudos to those that are working that for Ulster County.
I went to a Walgreens in Binghamton, so I got to know the last month or so downtown Binghamton very well.
Downtown Binghamton. How's
nice 2.5 hour drive, through Ellenville and up in Liberty and 17 to 86. Very nice drive.
Very nice drive. So how is downtown Binghamton?
It's interesting. They have when I had some time to kill, they actually have a AAA team there. It used to be the Binghamton Mets. They changed the name to it. I believe it's the Rumble Ponies or something like that. But I took a trip over and looked at the ballpark, very nice ballpark, and all the guys. I mean, there's a lot of coming up and comers, people like Jacob deGrom and on down the line. I'm a big Mets fan, so it was very interesting. They have a wall there of kind of a Hall of Fame, Edgardo Alfonso, and I don't know if Pete Alonso played there or not, but just about every person on the Mets now that came up through the system. So it's a nice ballpark there. It's kind of by the rail yard. It's very interesting. It's a nice city. SUNY Binghamton, nice campus. So it's not too far from where I got my shots. And besides the shots, the best thing about going to Binghamton, Dan, Cracker Barrel, about 2 miles.
I love those restaurants.
I love Cracker Barrel.
I do too. A lot of good eye candy and a lot of good food.
Yeah. So I love the peach cobbler there. But anyway, so Binghamton's. I'm hopeful people don't have to do that.
Right. Yeah.
Now they can. I just didn't feel like waiting. And so I got my appointment and did it then. So you're not in that. You'll be eligible not too long, right?
Well,
May 1st is the latest that you can start to apply.
Oh, really?
Yeah, May 1st is the latest. Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's a federal mandate that was given by Biden yesterday.
Like you can't apply after May 1st, or?
No. That you that he promised that everybody, every adult, every adult is going to be able to get their vaccination by May 1st.
By May 1st. Oh,
Yeah.
that seems
That
soon.
you'll be able to at least, get in the
They
loop.
have
And,
moved it from 60 and up now, but
Right, 60,
I'm still not anywhere near. I'm not
You
ready.
got a ways to go yet.
I got a ways to go, but we'll get there. We got my mother vaccinated. That's what I care about.
Beautiful day out there.
Beautiful day. And you were just talking about sports in Binghamton. So what's happening with sports locally?
Good lead in, Fran.
Yeah.
Actually, today.
They don't have me here for no reason at all.
Today's actually the kickoff of an abbreviated high school football season. I believe each team is playing either 5 or 6 games. I know Kingston High starts tomorrow at Warwick, 2 p.m. on the road. There's a number of other games. I got to be honest with you. I'm a big high school football fan. I don't know how prepared these kids can be. They haven't been practicing on the field. Practicing, there's too much snow.
Snow, yeah. I know. My niece is a senior at Red Hook High School, and it's been very disappointing. She's been playing soccer since she could basically walk. And it's been so disappointing for a senior year of high school, but then on top of it, to not have sports. This was going to be, for every sport, a big season for those that have always played.
Sure.
And, they've been practicing outside. They have their first game tomorrow and up in Saugerties. And, they've been practicing out, in the mud now because the snow melted the last couple of days. But, between the snow and the mud. But, so tomorrow night at Warwick. So
tomorrow afternoon, actually.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. So, by the way, I should mention that if anybody wants to call in, 331-9255. Happy to hear from you. Oh, we actually have a caller. Okay.
Look at that.
Know that. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning. I think that was the Steel Wheels tour of the Rolling Stones.
I knew somebody would call in with that.
The 50th anniversary of the Steel Wheels?
Yep. And I only because I went to one of those concerts at the old Giant Stadium, had a blast that night, and the Rolling Stones were always a blast. But
I agree. When's the last time you actually saw them? Have you seen them recently or no?
I haven't seen them recently, no. But only because I've gotten old and I've had some health issues. But in any case, and I've seen that Binghamton Stadium too, and that seems to be a pretty nice little stadium there.
Yeah, it is. I had never been up there.
I think that some of the spring training stadiums that I've been to, which include Sarasota, which the Orioles train at, and one in Jupiter where the Cardinals and Marlins train at, I think that in many cases, the smaller stadiums are much more fun to go to than the bigger than the major league stadiums.
I agree. I mean, you're getting a lot closer, up close and personal. The ticket prices, obviously, are.
Oh yeah, it's much cheaper, and although, in Jupiter the traffic is a little bit of a mess, but but once you get parked and once you get out of there, you're okay. And the fact that you enjoy the game or whatever.
Are you a Mets or Yankees fan?
Pardon me?
Are you a Mets or Yankees or another team fan?
I am considered an all-around New York sports fan, and I've told that to people on WFAN, and I've gotten absolutely vilified for it.
I thought it was a great answer.
Yeah, I mean, they said, you can't do that, I mean, and the same thing's true of the Jets and Giants, and to a lesser extent the Knicks and the Nets. I'm more of a Knicks fan than I am a Nets fan, but I I like the way the Knicks are playing right now, although last night was a terrible game for them.
Yeah, Thibodeau has the coach has done a wonderful job, and yeah, last night was.
I'm just hoping that that the second half they don't completely go back into what they were doing over the past 5 or 6 years, and they're fun to watch and they're fun, and they're very watchable.
Yeah, they're always, I don't think they're going to get sidetracked because Tom Thibodeau is such a stickler on defense. If you're not playing defense, you're not going to stay on the floor. So, I guess.
But when you play a team like Milwaukee with that Antetokounmpo, however you.
Yeah, I call him Giannis.
I'm and I don't mean to offend anybody because I couldn't pronounce it, but he's a terrific player. And Milwaukee, and I mean very logically, Milwaukee is a much better team than the Knicks are. And, I think the Knicks have a chance to get into the playoffs if they play the way they had in the first half.
Yeah, I agree, particularly since the 10 teams are going to get in from each conference. So they'll probably definitely make it. And you could call here anytime. We appreciate it. Unlike Mike Francesa or Chris
folks,
Russo.
I'm enjoying your show. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for calling.
Have a good day.
We won't vilify. We won't vilify our callers ever.
Ever. I like the answer. Sorry. Rick, we were talking about Kingston football's first game tomorrow afternoon, and there's a picture in the Daily Freeman this morning. After 16 months, Kingston's ready. And I got thinking, all the other teams are probably in the same boat, so it might be a level playing field. Not literally, but you know what I mean? Like, they all haven't had practice, so right. They're where they're at, and they're all going to be playing at that. Nobody has the advantage, I guess, is what I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah. So, so that's the way the sports are going to go. Let's hope it goes, because I think if any COVID comes up with any of the players or the coaches or anything, I think then the season ends. Like, that's how some of the schools are doing it. So let's, fingers crossed, hope they get their little abridged season in, right?
Yeah. They're not allowing spectators, except I think each player is allowed to have two family members.
And it's only the home spectators, I'm pretty sure. Visitors visiting. So that's how it is with Red Hook Soccer. Like tomorrow, the game's in Saugerties. So the Red Hook families, friends can't go to the game. Mm-hmm. Only two visitors from the home team. So we look forward to some home games to see her play. So
good. This is
my youngest niece,
okay.
Rachel. She's a senior at Red Hook High School. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So hasn't been easy doing those college visits and making decisions all virtually, So that's been interesting for the seniors that were making their decisions through this last year from March of last year, Like going to do a college visit wasn't like normal.
No.
So yeah, makes a tough decision even tougher sometimes. But so
I can't imagine that. I seriously can't imagine that because the way I chose my college was the vibe.
Yes, right.
The vibe of the campus,
Mm-hmm.
and my gosh, that's so sad that so many students have to, run back 10 yards and punt.
Yeah.
With this,
Pretty much.
It's been difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school, Dan?
Started at Cornell.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
So they had a good vibe for you.
I loved it.
Very good. Very good.
My sister's there. It was kind of a family city, although we were all from Pittsburgh.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we ready to go to the break, Dan? So we'll be right back.
Thank you, Rick Remsnyder and Fran DiPetrillo Savoca. And you are with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. My name is Dan Gatis, and it is 7:30 a.m. Friday, March 12th, and hovering right around 50 degrees right now. Abundant sunshine as you see it now, and gorgeous sunrise as it was. And we've got a high of 59 today, so it will continue. That gorgeous sunny weather will continue today. Tonight, mainly clear skies, a low of 27. Saturday, mainly sunny all around, and a high of 46. Saturday night, mostly clear, low near 30. And we'll be right back after these messages.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM. And also online at mykcr.org.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Okay, kids, Dad's gonna teach you how to dance. First, spread your feet apart. Then, pump your knee.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Diane Eastwick from Athens, New York, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
And thank you for being with us today at Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. It's Friday, March 12th, and just about 50 degrees right now here in Uptown Kingston. Kingston Community Radio is talk radio. Your number is 331-9255. And you can follow KCR worldwide at mykcr.org, as well as tuning in to AM 920 and 92.5 FM. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Fran DiPetrillo Savoca and Rick Remsnyder. Let's see who else is in the studio, too.
Thank you, Dan. So it's great to be here. Oh, speaking of Rolling Stones, that's something that Keith Richards says at every show.
Oh.
He says, when he introduced Keith to do a couple songs, he goes, yeah, it's great to be here. Actually, it's great to be here, be anywhere. You know.
To be anywhere. Okay.
So introduce our guests. Since
true. Amberly Jane Campbell from, I want to say News Atomic, but Kingston Wire. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. So, yeah, Kingston Wire and the Shwangung Journal and our online platform for the Journal and many other publications is News Atomic. So,
okay.
That's totally great.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be here.
There was just so much to talk about last time when Tony and I had you on that here we are. This is Rick and my first Friday morning together here. Not our first Friday morning together, but our first Friday morning together here. And we're so excited to have you on.
Thank you.
What's new
Thanks.
and happening at Kingston Wire and
there's
Journal?
There's so much happening. Of course, news never stops. There's just always some great things going on. We do have, the Apple TV show that is shooting in Kingston today.
Right. So the Ben Stiller
and yesterday, right? Ben Stiller is directing.
Okay.
Starring Adam Scott, Christopher Walken, Patricia Arquette, John Turturro, who is a SUNY New Paltz alum. So that's exciting. Down, of course, the waterfront Rondout area of Beale and all that.
Months ago, so the Ulster County Tourism Office is downtown at 20 Broadway, and months ago, a guy came in, and this happens on occasion. They come in, it's the location scout.
Oh, sure.
And they came in, and I wasn't there at that moment, and Krista, the office assistant, took Ernie's card, and we've been back and forth, and then there was no word, and for a couple of months, but the card was on my desk, and I recently brought the card back down to Krista. I'm like, if this guy comes back in or calls again, and literally 2 days later, there they were, filming. I'm I'm like, okay, so I guess they found what they liked,
Oh,
right?
sure. I mean, there's a lot to love in our area, of course, and the proximity to the city. And, there's these great tax credits that they are trying to get rid of, but we're going to try to keep them.
Yes.
So a million years ago, I actually worked for the Hudson Valley Film and Video Office out of Poughkeepsie. That was the first kind of iteration of a film office locally. And I was quite young. This was maybe 98. 99. And so this was before digital film. So we had file cabinets just full of pictures of locations and things. And Girl Interrupted wanted to shoot at the old, by Marist, there's the old, I don't want to say the wrong thing for it, but,
Yes.
where the institution.
The Mid-Hudson Psychiatric Center,
Thank
something
you
like
so
that.
much.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you so much. So I went in there and I took lots of pictures. And but they ended up obviously not shooting there for Girl Interrupted, but it was such an interesting location. And so, part of my job was to go around and take pictures of great locations and things. But we really have it all.
We
up
really
here.
do, yeah. Mhm.
And then in May, there's another a film production shooting with Woody Harrelson and Justin Theroux. And that's set in the 50s and 60s, and they're actually looking for local folks who have old cars, of that era, and to be an extra, with your vehicle even. I studied anthropology and film in college, so I love film. I love filmmaking. I've made a couple of my own, but so that always excites me. Of course, there is so much other things happening. There's the big amount of federal money that, we just got in Kingston and locally and for the county. And
yes.
That's going to be a really amazing stimulus for the area. And so, and then of course we have the the Broadway construction and, all the other kinds of things happening. But I love, when I go past that construction on Broadway, if it's the right time of day, which is the golden hour, it's actually a great photos that I've been taking as I pass by the big cement trucks and everything pouring, asphalt and whatever they are. So I know it's annoying, the construction, but I try to find the beauty in things. What can I say?
There you go.
Let's go back to a couple of those films they're doing, Amberly. You said, do we know what the one is that's the Apple, what one is being
it's called Severance, right?
Severance,
yes,
okay.
Yeah.
And Christopher Walken is one of the leads, and John Turturro.
Yeah, well, I feel like Adam Scott is the lead, from Parks and Rec, and he actually teamed up with Ben Stiller on The Life of Walter Mitty. So they're teaming up again. Patricia Arquette also has a big role, and so I feel like Adam Scott though is the lead.
Okay. I have a hard time getting past Christopher Walken without, he's just, what a great actor.
Oh,
There's
sure.
a reverence there, huh?
Yeah,
right?
and the first thing, let's see if great minds think alike here, Dan or Amberly or Fran. When you think of Christopher Walken, there's a video out there that he's famous for doing. Can you tell me what that is? It's a famous music video.
Where it's just the clips of him dancing from every video?
No, he's on it's like a Saturday Night Live.
Oh, the
skit.
cowbell, of course.
Or cowbells.
Okay.
I play that probably once every 3 or 4 months. It cracks me up. He was just so great.
It is
that.
iconic.
Yeah, Don't Fear the Reaper.
Don't Fear the Reaper, right, yep. And Jimmy Fallon, of course, from Socrates, he's out of a character. He's cracking up during that video. And never once does Christopher Walken ever lose it. Of course, Will Ferrell does a tremendous job with that video. But anyway, I digress.
No, I love that.
We got a half hour to fill here, so we're going to talk about Christopher Walken. I love Christopher
Talk about
Walken.
anything you want. And on break, I'm going to pull that video up and watch it myself.
And then the next film you mentioned, Woody Harrelson, I believe that's about Watergate. And,
it is. Yes, it is. I couldn't remember the name of it, but yes, that is the subject matter.
Yeah, being old, Watergate, I grew up, one of my all-time favorite movies, All the President's Men with Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford. I think that's one of my top 10 movies. And you being a journalist,
Sure.
a lot of people in that era, when that movie came out, credited them getting started in their career because of Watergate and All the President's Men and the Washington Post. And, I was back then, and that was really an unbelievable time in our country. And, of course, you guys are too young to remember that, of course. But Dan and I aren't.
Well, the power of the press. I mean,
Yes.
that's a seminal movie. And more recently, Spotlight is a great film about journalism and, uncovering scandals.
I don't know that. What's that about, Spotlight?
They are uncovering the scandal of, pedophiles in the Catholic Church.
Oh, okay.
That whole thing.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean that, and won, a bunch of Academy Awards. But also great, journalists, we know them, we love them, we get angry at them, if those of us in the news business, if somebody's not angry at you, you're probably not doing the right thing. So, you're just going to anger people, and that's the way it is.
How did you get started in journalism?
Oh boy. I actually started, I made my first newspaper at 8 years old. Does that count?
Wow.
But I still have it. My mom saved it. But I was always interested in, what people were doing around. And, and then in high school, we formed a newspaper club. And then, so I was just, and then out of high school, actually, when I was still in high school, I interned at a news organization, and I ended up doing some stuff like that on the radio and what have you. For years. And then, I was a journalist in some capacity my whole life. I was, when Taconic Press was in Millbrook, I was the managing editor of the Millbrook Roundtable. I lived in Millbrook. I interviewed Mary Tyler Moore and Al Roker and, all kinds of folks up there. And then I was there when 9/11 happened, actually. And we had to report on all these kids who'd lost parents, these firefighters, locally who were lost. And I was young, and I said to myself, I've never seen the country, nothing. I've not seen anything. I was quite young. So anyway, I told my mom I'm leaving, and I got in my car, and I just started driving cross country. And I was gone for a year and a half, and I learned a lot about people and myself. And that's the very short version of it. And then I came back to go to Stony Brook University, 2003. So. It was quite an adventure.
My son graduated from Stony Brook. Small world, right?
Stony Brook was great. That was a great school. I had a lot of good memories. I also had a very popular love and sex column called Ask Amberly Jane in the Stony Brook Press for 4 years. Wow. So the best 4 years of my life, can I say? No. Well, close. But it was a great time. I got invited to all the good parties.
Wow.
Small level of fame on campus. Good times.
Cool.
Good. Well, this is Rick Remstein and Fran DiPetrillo. We have Amberly from the Kingston Wire. If you want to call in and ask questions.
Please do. 331-9255.
Great. So.
Ask me some questions. I'd love it.
Oh, she's ready for
that.
I'd
love it.
Oh, somebody call me questions. 331-9255. It's hard to talk or understand through the mask sometimes.
The role of the way newspapers, I'm kind of a throwback. I come in with, New York Post. I'm like Lawrence. The first thing I read is the New York Post. I start with the back page. Sorry. Great sports section. But I used to work for the Daily Freeman as a reporter. I worked for the Times Herald Record. So I have a great affinity for print, and I'm glad you guys are keeping it up with Shwangunk Journal, a really good newspaper, which I subscribe to. And Amberly is not only a great journalist, but she's a hands-on person if you ever have a problem. I actually called there. I had a problem with my phone getting in my subscription. And unlike a lot of places, she actually picked up the phone.
You got a live person on the phone.
A live person. And 15 minutes later, the both of us had wandered around and got it fixed. But I'm very, one thing about Ellenville, I worked at the Nevele as a marketing director for 4.5 years, and unfortunately that's not getting anywhere right now. But I'm really happy to see Shwangunk Country Club, which is now called the Joe Steckler Memorial Park, and golf course is doing very well. And I know I used to be on a committee with Mayor Jeff Kaplan and some of the Parks and Rec people there. And I was glad to see that the winter sports went off pretty well this year. The snow tubing, I guess they were doing, or
Yep.
you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure, no, absolutely, yeah. I mean, Ellenville is a special place. We do kind of fight the negative stereotypes a bit, but it's very much an up-and-coming place. A lot of folks have moved there recently that really are reinvigorating the area. But yeah, the Steckler Memorial Park is so gorgeous. I mean, you cannot beat the vista of the Schwangunk Ridge. I mean, it's such like an unexpected and gorgeous vista that you come out to, and to be able to play golf there, and they did have the tubing, as you say, and they would even bring people back up the hill, which, I mean, where do you get that? If you can just get on the back of a four-wheeler and kind of get back up the hill,
didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't beat that. So they didn't have the ice skating this year that they had the previous year, but
They tried. They were
well,
close.
they tried, yeah, but it was so warm last winter that it just didn't work out. But people have big plans, and I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful for the area.
Yeah, I know they had a great golf season. Last year I actually played there at the end of the year, and they were really busy, like most of our golf courses were. But when Fran and I worked together in the tourism office, and one thing I was very sensitive about, knowing how the village of Ellenville and the town of Warsing and that area feels maybe disconnected with the parts of the county. We tried our best to promote that area, right, Fran? And there's a lot of great things to promote there. I think Shadowland stages. Obviously, the Restaurant Row there, Aroma Time Bistro with Marcus Giuliani, and the Honors Haven doing really well.
Yeah.
And so I'm very hopeful. Working with used to work. Now I'm not there anymore, but they have great leadership there with Mayor Kaplan and Terry Houck, the town supervisor.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think Ellenville is a special place, and I think it's beginning to show somewhat of a renaissance.
It really is, and and beyond Aroma Time, there's other amazing restaurants.
What's
like
that Mexican place? I love that. Gabby's.
Yeah.
I love
Gabby's.
Gabby's.
I love the atmosphere, and the food is great. And I haven't eaten there, but I've eaten at Palizzata, which is their other restaurant. But Tony and Nick's, I've never eaten at Tony and Nick's.
Yeah, I've been at Tony and Nick's.
Always wanted to.
It's amazing. They make their fresh mozzarella every day.
I've got to get out there and try that.
and Marbella, I should say, is also an amazing, the best pasta. He makes his own pasta, and it's just out of this world.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Are you getting hungry?
I know. Yeah, I'm trying a new restaurant tonight. Actually,
what's that?
Because somebody from Greene County Tourism and somebody from Columbia County Tourism coming to Saugerties, and we're eating at Hot Rocks for the first time. I've heard great things, but yeah, Hot Rocks in Saugerties. It's like a steakhouse, and their menu looks amazing. So yeah, but I went off the beaten path of Ellenville, and there are some phenomenal things. And you mentioned Honors Haven. If people go online, just Google Honors Haven. They have some incredible packages and events coming up, but like retreats, like personal retreats to go to with different themes, and they really have some incredible stuff coming up through the spring and early summer. So Honors Haven Resort and Spa in Ellenville.
We have a caller. Welcome, caller.
Hey, good morning, Rick. Good morning, everybody. It's Brian Waltman calling. How's everybody?
Good morning, Brian. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, any discussion of Ellenville and food has to include Cohen's Bakery.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Yes.
Where else in our region could you get real authentic babka?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. Although you're right.
Rick, as a golf aficionado, I have to say that one of the disappointments I've had with Ellenville was learning that the Fallsview Golf Course was, how should I say it politely, destroyed, but and taken away from us. That was a Robert Trent Jones gem, and probably one of the best 9-hole courses in the entire United States. And it's just a real shame that was chosen to. And I'm shocked in a sense too that the preservationists weren't out trying to preserve that jewel for generations to come. I just wish that hadn't happened. But when do we know when the new nature trail or whatever they're calling it there is going to be open?
At the Honors Haven?
Yes.
I don't know, and I agree with you on the. I always, and Brian is quite a golfer. I know you shot. Didn't you shoot 69 at Twaskill last year?
Yes, yes, I did. Towards the end of last year, I had my first subpar round of the year in my life. I shot a 69. Yeah.
Congratulations! I'm glad I know that because Brian and I have talked about playing sometime.
I know, and we're going to make it happen this year. Last year was just too weird.
Weird.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
it.
And the fact that you shot 69, I know I'm going to need more strokes, so just be prepared, at least two or three
we
aside.
Can negotiate that. Well, you know, I don't know. My family connections to Ellenville, my grandparents, they lived on Staten Island, but they had a summer place up in Sholem. So I spent a great deal of my childhood in the Ellenville area and always have had an affinity and love for the area, and would at least try to get down there a couple times a year. It's just, again, and one of the primary purposes I would go there was to play the Falls View, and I'm just so sad that course is no longer available.
I agree with you 100%. When I worked at the Nevele, we used to have 27 holes, the Nevele red and the blue, but I always maintained that the 9 holes at the Falls View, Robert Trent Jones, were the best 9 holes in Ulster County. And it's, unfortunately, Brian, I don't know if you noticed, the last 3-4 years before the Honors Haven decided to do that, they really, the management group, whoever was in charge of the Falls, you let it go. It wasn't in great shape. They weren't getting play, so I feel terrible. It's unfortunate.
Well, yeah, I will say though that. And I do have the pictures to prove it because I was there in 2019 and took some photos because I wanted to document to me what I always thought was the best green complex in our county was the sixth hole, the par 5 sixth hole.
Yep.
That green complex was simply the best you would find anywhere in this world.
Yep.
And it's just I don't know. You wonder if it's a cause and effect thing. It wasn't promoted, and I have to also think that 2020 would have been the year that they could have really. Made a great leap forward, but it wasn't meant to be. We have another golf course, I guess, coming to Accord, the former Roundout.
Yep.
It's a world-class design that's going to be opening soon, and it's going to be, maybe that'll be my reason to drive down that way, and then I'll pop in the Cohens.
Yeah, no doubt. The guys that designed Sweeten's Cove, who is one of the best 9-hole golf courses in the country, just read about it in Golf Digest. They're the guys that designed that, so I'll be interested to see what they come up with.
Yep, so will I. All right, well, I'll let you go. Have a great weekend, everybody. And again, you got an Ellenville booster right here in me. And Fran, good to chat with you.
Brian, yes, thanks for reminding us about Cohen's because now I'm hungry and I want Cohen's. But when you drive out to the new golf course, well, the refurbished golf course in Kerhonkson, Accord area, have you had the pierogies at Helena's talking about unique items to get?
No, I have not. But
well, it's across the street on 209 from Kelder's Farm.
Okay.
And it is the best pierogi you'll ever have in your entire life. Bring cash. And yeah, it's amazing. Helena's pierogies.
All right.
Check it out. Have a great weekend, Brian.
I'll write it down.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
All the best. Be well.
Bye.
So before we run out of time here, let's make sure that we give you the adequate plug as far as if people want to get subscribed to Kingston Wire or the Shawangunk Journal. So go ahead, Amberly.
Oh, thank you so much. So Kingston Wire is kingstonwire.com, and that is our new digital news site for Kingston. We launched it the end of September, and the reception has been amazing ever since we did. Basically, you go on to kingstonwire.com, you put in your name and email, you get 4 free articles. After that, you can either subscribe for like $5 a month, or you can put a little money in your account and get articles piecemeal at like 25 cents a piece. So that's how, so we have the Shawangunk Journal newspaper as well, which I'm the publisher of out of Ellenville, as we said. And our digital platform for that is newsatomic.com. Same deal with News Atomic, but it has not just the Shawangunk Journal on there, but we have a lot of other local independent publications. We really wanted it to be kind of a one-stop shop for local independent journalism. And so we have Mid-Hudson News on there. We've got Ulster Publishing on there. We've got Manor Inc., a whole bunch of other great publications. So that is a little bit about us. On Kingston Wire, we have Hugh Reynolds, actually, and he does a weekly column, usually comes out on Mondays. And Hugh is, Hugh is Hugh. He's amazing man, very charming. His wife Phyllis is just a doll, and she takes such amazing photos. I love her so much. So we're lucky to have their voice on there. But we're nonpartisan. We're very accessible. We're open to hearing from folks of every kind all the time. You could certainly, if you ever wanted to reach out, you can either do Amberly at kingstonwire.com. You could email me, AMBERLY, at kingstonwire.com or at gunkjournal.com. Either way, it'll come to me. So, but we want to hear from folks. Certainly send in your letters, your article ideas, critiques, anything. We're interested. And so what else can I tell you? There's a lot going on, and we're really thrilled to have Jesse Smith and Dan Barton as our core team at Kingston Wire. Jesse Smith, incredibly talented journalist, and Dan Barton as well. And together they've been covering Kingston for 40 plus years. They really know the city, and we're really lucky to have them. And, I'm out and about taking pictures and going to events, and we have Max and Brian as well, some great reporters helping out. So I love what we do. I feel very fortunate to be able to be involved in a project I'm so passionate about, and a topic that I really care about, and that is, our community, which is so important, and the people in our community. So that's it.
I don't think there's any way that without community newspapers you get the full picture of what's going on. And I think, I subscribe to Shwangung Journal. I have them mailed to my house. And I do subscribe to the website, obviously. And, she's right, Amberly's right about Mr. Reynolds, who has a show here every other Friday when we're the same time period. And Phyllis worked for me at Ulster County Tourism. She's a great photographer. And it's great to have the community newspapers. And all the weeklies, they really, do a great job of covering the meetings and everything that's going on in the community that the daily newspapers just don't have the time or resources to get into. So
Right.
You guys do a great job.
Thank you. We really work hard, like 24 hours a day almost. So it's nice to hear that.
Like
Thank
you said, news never stops.
That's
so
right.
you must be, you can't stop.
No, much to my husband's chagrin.
I was thinking
I
that.
love you, honey. You're the
I was
best.
thinking that. Oh, that's funny.
Well, before I started in Ulster Tourism as a newspaper business, and it's like a 24/7, 365 days out of the year. There are no breaks. A story breaks.
That's right.
You're on it, right?
That's right. Well, in fact, Halloween, there was a death in Ellenville, and here we are all dressed up, with my child and everything, doing Halloween things, and I kind of had to break out of it for a moment to get the troops, together to figure out how we're going to cover this. This death, which we didn't know what kind of a death it was. But so everybody, pulled together and did what we had to do. And that's just the way it is,
I guess to all this discussion about food, I'm going to have to make a trip to Ellenville in the next couple of weeks to hit a few of these places. What's the new place there that took over for White Wolf?
The paper mill.
Oh,
the paper mill. Yeah, the paper mill is awesome, owned by Christine, this wonderful woman, and her partner. And they're going to have comedy shows. They're going to have, wine shows. They really have it going on. It's really gearing up to be an amazing summer. I mean, in Ellenville, they approved, and I see things counting down, but they approved the 4th of July parade. They approved tentatively, the Blueberry Fest, Wings and Wheels event. So really this summer, I'm just so excited for this summer.
Very good.
Well, I know we're getting up on a break. Amberly, that was a quick half hour. Yeah. Come back anytime. You're a delight.
Thank you.
Love to have you, and good luck with Kingston Wire, Shwangung Journal, and with all those events. Maybe we'll see you out there in person one of these days, besides the studio.
I love it. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for coming in. And Dan, let's go to the break.
Thank you, Rick Remsnyder and Fran DiPetrillo Savoca, and a very, very special thanks to our guest today, Amber Lee from Kingston Wired. You're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was brought to you by Ulster Savings Bank. Many locations throughout the Mid-Hudson Valley, locations near you. And WGHQ is AM 920 and 92.5 FM. It is 8 o'clock a.m. Friday, March 12th, 52 degrees here in uptown Kingston. And abundant sunshine today, abundant sunshine, much like just right now. And a high of 59 tonight. Mainly clear skies, low down to 27. Saturday, mainly sunny all around, and a high of 46. Saturday night, mostly clear, low near 30. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM. And also online at mykcr.org.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone?
Do flowers have best friends?
I don't know. Hey, look.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
Hi, this is Scott Harrington from Hurley, and I support Kingston Community Radio because the people need a place to have their voice heard, and it's lost in corporate radio, so please keep listening and supporting our station.
And we're back. You're listening to WGHQ AM 920 and 92.5 FM, the home of Kingston Community Radio. My name is Dan Gatis, and it is Friday, March 12th, 52 degrees here in uptown Kingston. This portion of Kingston Community Radio is underwritten by the Friends of Kevin Cahill, supporting the technology that brings you Kingston Community Radio. Friends of Kevin Cahill are avid supporters of local media. Join Kevin Cahill in supporting Kingston Community Radio by sending to Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York 12402, or online at mykcr.org. Let's get back to the on-air studio with Fran DiPetrillo Savoca and Rick Remsnyder, and our new guest as well. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dan. And I believe we have Charles Ferry from Star Vodka on the line. How are you this morning?
Hey, Rick. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Charles. Thanks so much for joining us. I feel like we have so much to talk about.
Hey, Fran. How are you?
Good. It's been a long time.
We got one piece of housekeeping we're going to do, and then we're going to get right to you, Charles. We got the birthdays, so go ahead, Fran.
Yeah, we got the birthdays. Charles, you're not a local, are you?
Not local.
Okay.
Soon to be local.
Okay, because we're giving away the Boyce Dairy Milk House birthday, and Rick, who is a local pretty much, has never been to Boyce's Dairy. Have you been to Boyce's Dairy?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, you need to get there. It's off Broadway in Kingston. So we are going to wish tomorrow, March 13th, a happy birthday to Patrick Trees from your friends at People's Place. Thank you for sending that in. We hope you enjoy your special day, Patrick Trees. Happy birthday, March 13th. Who do you have, Rick?
Well, we're going to save this for the next break, or no? Do this now, Dan?
Oh, yeah, we'll do them all now.
Because then we give the pie.
We wish a happy birthday to Candy Sutton, your friends at People's Place. We hope you enjoy your special day, and courtesy of Boyce Dairy Milk House and Kingston Community Radio.
And then
No, moo.
Okay.
For all the winners.
All right. Now, Charles, I know you and I talked the last...
Those two people are the actual winners. Because
right.
sometimes there's a lot of birthdays,
right?
And
so
one person is the winner. So we
Patrick, you win the. If you're listening, Patrick Trees, I hope you are listening. You are the winner of cow pie from Boyce's Dairy, and then for Sunday,
Candy Sutton
is the winner.
Way good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so Charles, talk. You know, you and I had a nice little chat the other day. There's a wonderful story on how you got started with Star Vodka in the town of Esopus, which is going to be a fantastic business locally. Would you share that story with the listeners about how that came about?
Yeah, and by the way, you guys made me very hungry, and my birthday was yesterday. So
happy birthday!
Well, we'll have to go anyway. Thank you. This has been a long journey, and I know we have a limited amount of time here, but it's quite a remarkable story. And some people have said I should write a book about it, but the biggest problem I have is I don't know if the book should be a horror story, a comedy, a drama, an action adventure, because it basically has everything rolled up into one and making this all come together. But it all started with. I used to live in Manhattan as a banker, and wasn't happy with that life, and wanted to go out on my own and be an entrepreneur, and made the hardest decision and also best decision of my life is to leave a very cushy Wall Street job. And,
we have a lot of recovering
path.
bankers
Yeah.
up here, Charles. A lot of recovering bankers, and I don't think any of them have looked back and regretted it. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and I have. Yeah, you're right. A lot have not. Usually, when they do leave, they never regret it. I have a lot of friends still in the industry, and they love it, but some are stuck in it and they can't get out. When you start having a family and you have bills and things like that, you don't have the opportunity to ever leave because you have to meet those responsibilities, and it's very difficult to leave. So. I left at an opportune time when I was single, living in the city. I had saved up some money. So I've always felt like if I crashed and burned and I failed, I could always go back to the banking industry with my tail between my legs and say, please, can I have my job back? Mm-hmm. So I was fortunate to, at the right time to take the risk and go for it. And fortunately, I never looked back. But leaving that, I had opened up a few venues, lounges, a nightclub in the Hamptons. And through doing that, I understood the taste and what people wanted for, wealthy people, celebrities, all types of people. I got to understand what people wanted, what they didn't like. So I just met lots of people. And through that, I wanted to create a product that was very different and special that I could hand out to my VIPs, my celebrity guests, to say, thanks for coming. Here's a vodka bottle that I created. And I felt that was a differentiator from every other venue out there that just was kind of, doing the same things. And so I went on a year-long kind of search. I went to Moscow to look for how to make the best vodka. But I'm very pro-U.S. I wanted it to be made in the USA. And so I was searching for the right location for Star Vodka, which was the brand, which my brand was called Star Lounge, Star Room in the Hamptons. So it was called Star Vodka. And so in going to Moscow, what I learned is they weren't doing anything that incredible. And, people look at, Russian vodkas are so wonderful. And I said, I'm looking at the process of how they do this. And it really, they're not using good grains. And, sometimes the water was a little sketchy. So I said, man, we could do this so much better. I don't know why they became like the gold standard for vodka. So, long story short, I came back to the U.S. and I searched, look at the country and the map, and your most important thing is your water source. You want to have clean, pure water. And there's two regions of the United States, the Pacific Northwest and the Northeast, that have the most abundant and purest water. And so I kind of zeroed in on that. And now when you create a brand, the biggest risk is obviously investing into a distillery and infrastructure and things like that. And that was a huge undertaking for someone who had no experience whatsoever in creating a product. What I wanted to do first is I did the opposite. I created a brand, and I wanted to prove the brand first before I looked for an iconic location to showcase and expand on the Spirit brand. And so, I found a distillery out in Oregon that was willing to work with me on a formula to create Star Vodka. And we came out with it. I had limited releases of it. It had a very good success on a small level. We did some great events, and I started growing that. And all along, I knew I had to look for a location to really, I think, prosper. As you have to have your own location, control your production. And so I really wanted to come back home. I grew up in the Hudson Valley. I grew up in East Fishkill. So that was really my heart's always been there. My parents live there. My sister and her husband have a place there. So I wanted to do it, but I just didn't want to do it to do it. I wanted to find a magical, iconic property. And it took me 2.5 years of searching, and there were many times I felt like it just wouldn't happen. I wasn't going to just do it to do it. I wasn't going to buy a piece of land. And as you guys know, just buying a piece of land or something, there's zoning, there's so many things that go into actually trying to build or do anything on a property. It is a daunting task. So one day, in my 2.5 year search, I had a meeting up at 9W, and I wasn't familiar with the Esopus area. I was mostly familiar with the opposite area, and had a meeting with an individual with my land attorney had introduced me, Michael Moriello, who was a wonderful guy, great attorney up there. I was picking his brain, saying I need an amazing property, and he was like searching. He goes, there's a guy who just bought something on the waterfront. Maybe you guys can do a joint venture. And long story short, I met with him, and not knowing this guy, he abused me. It was just an awful meeting where he, very cocky, I'm doing this and you're doing that. Well, that's just kind of poo-pooed me. I don't know why he even wanted to meet with me. And I left there being like, I can't say on the air, but I was cursing. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I was cursing, and I was it was a low point. I was very depressed. I was like, this is just not going to happen. And my wife was with me, and we were driving back down 9W to go back to the city, and I was just so bummed. She goes, there was a place I saw on the way up. It was through the woods, and we should just stop. It looks like no one's there. I go, yeah, whatever. What are you, crazy? So we were kind of slowing up, and it was on the left-hand side. If we were going south on 9W, it was on the waterfront. And you couldn't really see the water. It was kind of the trees all overgrown, and it was this giant, beautiful building, old building, and it had a chain across the driveway. And it looked like it just had been abandoned, but they were just mowing the lawn or whatever. So she goes, stop, you got to stop the car. So I stopped the car. We snuck on. Hope I'm not getting in any trouble here, but we snuck on the property and walked down. And it was just gorgeous. And we're peeking in the windows, and no one's there. And she's like, Charles, this is it. This is it. And I go, yeah, right, you're crazy. This thing's massive. There's no way. I don't know anything about this property. And she's like, I think this is it. So we drove home, and I was just, all night I was tossing and turning. I just, after that meeting and feeling, just down. And I got on, it was probably like 5:30 in the morning. I woke up early, started doing my research in real estate again. And I tell you not, the thing had come in the market about a week week prior. And I just started screaming. She woke up, be like, what is wrong with you? I go, the building we just saw is on the market, and they didn't put the for sale sign out. And I just couldn't even believe that it was like almost like the stars aligned. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh my gosh. So I called the realtor, called my mother's a broker. She has her own real estate business. I called her. I said, we got to find out about this property, blah, blah. Went through this whole thing. Went to look at it, and it's a monstrosity. So trying to put your head around making a distillery and all these aspects we wanted, it was daunting. But yet, since it was such a low price, everyone was jumping at it. Everyone didn't know. Some wealthy people were just going to buy it because it was waterfront, and it was just stunning. I mean, 27 acres on the river. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything better. So we basically, what I did was I set up a meeting immediately with the town supervisor, and at the time it was the late John Coutant, mm-hmm. He was such a phenomenal person. I met with him, and he had a meeting. He had everyone in the board. I called them. I said, here's who I am. This is what I want to do. This is the property I really want. I need to know, hands down, are you for this or not? I'm not going to, bang my head on the wall, because some towns just don't want business. And I don't want to get myself mucking through the mud of people that don't want me there. I want this to be a community effort. I want it to be everyone on the same page. Here's what I'm doing. I want to embrace everyone to embrace this project. So that was really important to me, as important as securing the property. So I met with John and his team, and I told him this story of what I wanted to do with the brand and expanding it. And he just said, let me tell you, this is it. We want this. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this here and to do what you need. And I said, listen, I need zoning changes. I need a lot of things for this property to be what I want it to be. And he said, we are going to get on it right away. And he passed away, I think, 2 weeks later, which is really crazy. So, he started the ball rolling, and all of a sudden he passes up, gets sick, goes to the hospital, passes away. I'm like, this is over. My biggest cheerleader that wanted it in the town is gone. And his deputy stepped in, and he said, you know what, we want this. We're gonna push forward in this. And they all pushed. We went up to the governor's office. The state looked at it and said, this is kind of a priority project. This is very special, unique to New York State. We're going to get behind it. And they quickly changed did a text amendment on the zoning to allow craft distilling, a winery, and hospitality, which was just phenomenal. So it kind of gave us the green light. We pushed forward, secured the property, and then, went through this long process of really trying to get the site plan approval, which was a nightmare in itself. It was just a very brutal experience, and I battled it out with some of our people on the board there, the planning board, and we butted heads a lot, and I was very frustrated with this process. And looking back on it, I know they're doing their jobs, and I know they're trying to do what's right. And looking at this project, when you look at the whole country, no one's ever done something like this. This is really the first of its kind, a waterfront distillery, also future hotel with events. There's just nothing. So I couldn't say, hey, look in California, they've done it. Can we follow what they're doing? We really were pushing through something very new. And so, in defending them, it was all new, and we were all kind of fumbling through how do we make this happen. So, I was frustrated. Many times I was just very unhappy with the whole planning board. But looking back on it, we all were pushing forward, and I think they had the best interest of the town in mind, and we finally got through it. And unfortunately, we're 5 years now. We're finally getting ready to open, but it was just awful. But and looping back in, my partner Paul Sears, who owns venues in the city as well, he was more. I was more for the distillery aspect because I wanted to expand the portfolio. I wanted to showcase our portfolios there, but he really pushed me into looking into the hospitality aspect more of adding the hotel. So instead of just going through the planning board and doing a distillery, he's like, Charles, we got to do the whole thing. We got to go for it. And that probably added more time onto it, but we got approved for a 25-room hotel, wedding venue, for a grand ballroom. My wife's a wedding planner, so she'll be our events director, and a craft distillery, which is going to be amazing. Our first product is a whiskey line called Black Creek, in homage to our Black Creek in Esopus there. Mm-hmm. So we have Black Creek bourbon coming out and Black Creek rye whiskey coming out. We've already done the label. It's ready to go. So we're teeing up for this summer to open up and unveil this stunning property. We've done a lot of work to it. It's been a labor of love, but it's incredible. But everything kind of came together, and it's just a stunning place. You're looking at the Vanderbilt Mansion across the river, and we're literally going to be creating local spirits there and showcasing it for everyone. It's amazing. I pinch myself saying, I really went through hell to do this. Mm-hmm. But I think it's all going to be worth it.
And we cannot be happier that you stuck with it, because it could not have been easy, especially adding COVID in. For those that are listening, we're talking to Charles Ferry from Star Vodka and Hudson House Distillery, coming soon to Esopus. Yeah.
A lot of people quit. In
exactly.
life, when you look at life, a lot of times people succeed because they don't give up and they persevere over every challenge that you might get hit with. And I tell you, we got hit with so many challenges, and there were times where Paul and I looked at ourselves and said, I don't think we're getting through this. I think this is going to be over. I think we're going to have to sell it or whatever we're going to have to do. We really hit these roadblocks where, where there was the planning board, we were just stumbling through things, and it hit us at one thing after another. And we just kind of always came back to, this property is so iconic. The Hudson Valley is so beautiful. If we just get this place open, I mean, it's just, I get kind of emotional on it because it has been just a brutal experience. But here we are, and it's going to be amazing.
Charles, and congratulations for everything that you're getting done. I know you say 5 years is a long time, which it is, but being the tourism director for 15 years, I can tell you projects, hotels in, I won't mention the towns in Ulster County, were in dire need of a hotel, and it took 8 to 9 years before they were able to get it approved. So what I'm leading up to is, I guess, when all is all said and done, you must have had a good relationship with everybody in the town of Esopus eventually to get this built.
Yeah, and listen, like I said before, this was a group effort. There were so many people in the town that truly have a vested interest in this property. They didn't even own it. They weren't an investor or partner, but they felt like it was theirs, and that was so special to have. I mean, I want to say that hands down, there was 100% support locally all around, even from the state level, the governor's office. I mean, everyone really looked at this and said, wow, this is so special and unique. Let's get behind it. And I think if we didn't have that, it would probably been easier to quit. And I'm glad we had the rallying support, because you don't want to quit. We didn't want to quit, and we didn't quit, and here we are, and it's really great, and it's special for everyone in that area. It's special for the state of New York. I think it's special for the country. I think it's everything all together. This is everyone together. It's not just one or two people. It's going to be amazing. It really is.
People are going to be flocking to you as you open each stage of the place. It's very exciting. I'm personally excited because my house is not far from there, so I can't wait to come visit.
And I know you're very thirsty. Everyone's thirsty there, and I'm trying my best to get this out there, and it's got to be. The product has to be stellar. I took my time with the property. I want this to be, anything I put out there, I want it to be phenomenal, because it has to represent the area, has to represent the state of New York. So, we are making sure that this is going to be a superior products, Black Creek, and also bringing back Star as our vodka line, and we're also looking to create a new gin line. So we'll have a portfolio. And also something else is really interesting is we're partnering with a local brewery to do a private label Hudson House brewery line. So we'll have beer. So customers come there that don't want beer. It's a beer line that we're creating. And we're also having local wineries chip in and help us with a private label wine. So we'll have at least initially a red and a white house wine, we're going to call it. Hudson House Wines, red and white. So we want all people to feel comfortable there. It's not just about spirits, all types, and we're looking to do local products as well. So we want to have our bourbon-infused maple syrup using local purveyors. So when you go to our gift shop, we want to have as much local stuff, but branded with the Hudson House branding, which I think is really special. So you're going to really come into our world, a new world. Basically, we're taking something in the 1850s and freshening it up, but and showcasing it. And one of the last thing I want to chime in on is, our bar that we created is, we knocked down some of these walls were like this dummy walls that the former monastery had put up. We revealed like an old fireplace we found and discovered some amazing things. And in the basement, we found these old American chestnut beams. They probably are well over 100 years old. We discovered these beams, and they're almost like artifacts. We find wood like this. And we had the back bar made with these wood beams, like surrounds the bar with shelving where our bottles will be showcased. And to me, these beams are, just stunning, and they represent Americana of old, and they're just these beautiful pieces. We'll have these gorgeous quartz bar top that's going to be, in these beans are going to be showcased behind the bar. So I had to just chime in because I want people to come look at all the original woodwork, but we're going to have these beautiful beans being showcased that we found. I mean, it's really cool.
It sounds like it's going to be incredibly beautiful, and kudos to your wife for eyeing this spot. She deserves a lot of credit there, Charles.
She does.
And are you able to say yet which brewery and which winery you're partnering with? Or not yet?
Yes, yes, we can. Millhouse Brewery. We're going to be working with them.
Yay for Millhouse.
The Baxter family are involved in our project. They are actually partners of ours. They got involved.
Very nice.
And they're also our general contractors. So they're doing the construction work. They also own the Millhouse Brewery. So it's like a family. They've helped us in so many ways. And what we wanted to do with Millhouse, it's perfect synergies. They make incredible beers.
They
locally,
do
right across the river from us. So it made sense that we met with their owner Jamie, who is going to help us with 2 beer lines there, and then we're actually looking at selecting the wineries. But there's a few I don't want to say right now, but they're local that we're going to work with. But yeah, it's all coming together. It's really exciting, and I can't wait to show everyone the place. We really can't.
And what's your projected time frame?
So we're looking at May, sometime in May, possibly soft opening. I would even, I don't want to push it too quick. I want to make sure that I want to see lots of greenery around. We want to do some, make sure the landscaping's there. It could even be into June we could open up, but, it's definitely a sooner rather than later finally. We have a 5,000 square foot deck we put on off the bar that is overlooking the riverfront. It is, it's just beautiful. So, I don't want to nail down the date just yet, but I will tell everyone that it's coming May, June. I will announce it. I'll announce it to everyone, and you guys maybe I can come back on and say, hey, here we are. We're coming with this date, and everyone is free to join us and come and enjoy the property.
Well, congratulations to you. And my birthday's the end of May, so I'll keep my fingers crossed for that.
Ooh, special birthday gift for you.
That's the perfect
for sure.
place to have my birthday. So, and it's not even a special number this year, but I'm so excited for your venture. Anything we can do to help promote you, we're happy to, as you know.
I know one of your biggest boosters is Mike Juby, who the owner of Headless Horseman. So I'm hoping that Mike brings thousands of people in, and I can envision them coming in to see Headless Horseman and then going right over to your place. So that could be a great partnership between you two guys.
I tell you, Mike and Nancy, I love them. I truly love them because when I first came to the area, I went to met him, and they were just so warm and open-armed and excited about what we were doing. And sometimes he was my therapist because I would be so upset over the stuff that's happening between the planning board and all the stuff I was going through. And he was like a therapist to me. And he's been a big fan of ours, and I'm a big fan of his. And I think we can both help each other and lift the area. I mean, I want more businesses to come to the area like-minded like ours. I don't look at it as competition. I look at it as we are lifting all of us are lifting each other up. I'm all for it. The town supervisor Shannon Harris was here. She was been amazing helping us, of lifting us up as well. So I mean, like I said, it is a total community effort. But Mike and Nancy are phenomenal. We're looking to work with them on our embroidery for our merchandise line for like T-shirts and hats. And Mike and Nancy, if you're listening, I wanted to create a private label for them, a Headless Horseman vodka or whiskey line. So hey guys, let's go. I'm ready to make it for you guys. We're ready to go. So we're going to do some stuff together with them, and I think it's great. It's great to be in that area. We're so excited.
Well, Charles, we got about a minute left. I want to thank you for taking the time this morning. We want to get you back before the opening, and we talked. We didn't have time to talk about your reality TV show on the Esquire Network, Lucky Bastards. Yeah. So we want to talk about that again at some point. So we'll have you back, and appreciate you bringing all this great business into Ulster County.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, the TV show, they can look it up, Lucky Bastards, and also we're looking to do a whiskey show at the Hudson House, so we're actually working with the production company now to film a whiskey show there. So definitely, lots to come, guys, and I really appreciate this. This has been great.
Congratulations and happy birthday.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Charles.
Well, take care, Charles.
All right,
Have a
guys.
great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right.
Before we take a
I saw the paperwork rustling here. I probably
Yeah.
messed something up, but I'm going to
Okay,
let
yes,
Fran straighten this out.
we've got a clear and present change and update for the birthdays.
Yeah, it was just in case anybody wasn't listening, Saturday, March 13th, wishing a happy birthday to Patrick Trees, your friends at People's Place. We hope you enjoy your special day. And Patrick, you win the Boyce Dairy Milkhouse cow pie. So head on down there and let them know that you are the winner. So happy birthday, March 13th to Patrick Trees. Sunday, we have 2 birthdays coming up. We have Candy Sutton, Sunday, March 14th. Happy birthday, your friends at People's Place. We hope you enjoy your special day. Happy birthday, Candy Sutton. And we have a happy second birthday to Alana Tenor. Happy second birthday from Mom and Dad, Landon and Lucas, Graham and Gramp Tenor, Graham and Gramp Van Valkenburg. Happy second birthday, March 14th. And Alana, you are the winner of the Boyce Brothers Boyce Dairy Milkhouse cow pie. So head on down there or send your grandparents or your parents since you're only 2.
Share it with your family, obviously. You've got a great big
Yes, right. I can just see it melting and going all over this adorable little one. Happy second birthday. So congratulations.
Okay, and with that, we'll go to the break. Thank you, Fran.
Thank you.
And you're with us here at KCR, Kingston Community Radio, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, 8:31 a.m., and it's Friday, March 12th, 52 degrees here in Uptown Kingston. This last portion of Kingston Community Radio was underwritten by the Friends of Kevin Cahill. Supporting the technology that brings you Kingston Community Radio, Friends of Kevin Cahill are avid supporters of local media. Join Kevin Cahill in supporting Kingston Community Radio by sending to Post Office Box 4364, Kingston, New York, 12402, or online at mykcr.org. Weather and forecast one more time. Today, abundant sunshine, just like now, and it's a high of 59. Tonight, mainly clear skies, low 27. Saturday, mainly sunny all around, a high of 46. Saturday night, mostly clear, low near 30. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Kingston Community Radio on WGHQ Kingston. On your radio at 920 AM and 92.5 FM, and also online at mykcr.org.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hi, this is Tony Marmo from Norman Staffing, and we've been bringing together employers and job seekers since 1980. If you're an employer and have job vacancies, let Norman Staffing help fill them with permanent or temporary workers. We screen, interview, and recommend the best candidates for your company. We make the employment process easier and faster for you. Please call Norman Staffing for your employment needs at 338-9111, 338-9111, or normanstaffing.com.
Hi, this is Eleanor Arrow from the town of Ulster, and I support Kingston Community Radio, and so should you.
You're listening to KCR, Kingston Community Radio, WGHQ, AM 920 and 92.5 FM, and streaming online at mykcr.org. And KCR is talk radio, so 331-9255 is our call-in number. This segment of KCR is brought to you by the Kingston Lions Club, serving the Kingston, Ulster County area since 1941. Call them at 845-901-9067, 845-901-9067 for more information. Now let's get back to the on-air studio for this last half hour with Fran DePetrillo-Savoca and Rick Remsnyder. Welcome back.
Good morning, and thank you all for listening. Before we get started with our next guest, this Sunday would have been the St. Patrick's Day Parade and the Shamrock Run. Unfortunately, they're not happening as we're used to them happening, but the Shamrock Run is happening virtually. So if you do Google the Shamrock Run, you can run in between certain dates. You may see some people running on Sunday and wonder what's going on. So you can do the Shamrock Run virtually. And there are a few St. Patrick's things coming up and different events. This one's food related, which always excites me. It's a Bavarian luncheon takeout on Tuesday, March 16th. You pre-order on Tuesday, and your pickup date is Saturday, March 20th. So you can order the Bavarian Luncheon Takeout this Tuesday, March 16th, pick up Saturday, March 20th. Snow date is Sunday, March 21st, but let's hope the snow is over. From noon to 1:30 is your pickup. And that's at Kingston Manicore Hall, 37 Greenkill Avenue. You call Terry at 338-4094 or the Club Hall at 338-3763. The menu includes Bavarian meatballs, spätzle, green beans, almondine, bakery roll, and homemade dessert, all for only $15. And there are raffle prizes, and so give them a call, 338-4094. On Tuesday to pre-order for that. Wednesday is St. Patrick's Day, as we probably all know now, and the Ulster County Regional Chamber of Commerce will be holding a virtual Chamber St. Patrick's breakfast March 17th at 9 a.m. The Chamber's annual Peter B. Matthews St. Patrick's Day breakfast will resume this year after being canceled in 2020 due to COVID. This year's event will be virtual, live streamed from the venue uptown, which is at the Best Western Plus, and on Facebook and YouTube from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. with technical support from Radio Kingston. Chamber President Ward Todd will be at the Best Western Plus, the venue uptown, and the viewers will still be able to enjoy breakfast, especially since the program features Irish. Oh, yes, the T. McCann Band is going to be performing, so you'll definitely want to stream in for the virtual breakfast. And, of course, the announcement of the Chamber's Honorary Irish Person of the Year. The breakfast is sponsored by the Reese Group, and we look forward to that this Wednesday. So things are getting a little bit back to normal. So stream in, go on Facebook or the YouTube channel for Ulster County Regional Chamber of Commerce this Wednesday, March 17th, 9 a.m. for St. Patrick's Day breakfast.
Anybody wants to call in, 331-9255. Happy to hear from you. So we're really pleased to have a great friend of everyone, but particularly Ulster County Tourism, when Fran and I used to work together. Raleigh Green, how are you this morning, Raleigh?
Doing great. Raleigh Green, St. Patrick's Day, how appropriate.
How appropriate.
Absolutely.
It's a great time to celebrate part of my heritage. And thank you for having me on a Friday. I feel like it's old times with the two of you. It's great.
It's beautiful out, right? I mean, we came in a while ago, but it's gorgeous out there, isn't it?
Yes, I can't wait to get out into get out in the garden, and walking the dogs and yes, good times.
It's been a rough winter, really.
Well, it's been a rough year.
Yeah. Winters are rough, but this feels like it's been a year's worth of winter, like in my opinion.
It feels like we're waking up after.
Yes.
Where did that year go?
Yeah.
Because without events or having communally shared experiences, the year kind of just drips away.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to reconnecting with all the good people around town and friends and family. It feels like I've been fairly disconnected. I'm sure everyone feels
I
that way.
know, yeah. But I feel blessed for all that we do have, and sorry for those that this disconnection has really
been more than just a disconnection.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing that I need to say is Raleigh, when we worked for the city of Kingston, did a great job working with us and Ulster County Tourism to promote the city of Kingston. We had a combined partnership for a couple of years. Raleigh did a great job. And one thing I do need to say, just before the pandemic, Raleigh and I had talked about having our annual margarita at Armadillo's, and we didn't get that done. So we're going to get that done this spring, my friend, right?
Sorry, I wasn't technically cheating on you, Fran.
And the funny thing is, well, Tamara better be part of that because I know she likes she can appreciate a margarita.
Yeah, better than me, really.
Better than you.
I'm creating a top 10 list in Ulster County margaritas, all right? And
COVID has put a cramp in that, I have to say.
Yes.
Although a lot of them really stepped up their game with the to-go versions.
Yes, and I like the sizes, too.
The size was
it's more like a jug.
Yes, so you can get a true taste.
True taste.
For your top 10. And so, yes, we do Raleigh shares that information with me via email of who's in the running for top 10.
Who's in the running for the best margaritas in Ulster County. It's a competitive list.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, I'd like to see that list.
And it takes some research.
It takes some extensive research.
Who's in the running, Raleigh? Who's in the running?
Oh, there's a couple, but I don't want to give any sneak peeks. But
okay.
At this time, but let's just say that there's a jalapeno flavored margarita that's really caught my attention lately. So more to be continued.
Okay.
Maybe the next time I come back, I'll have a more fleshed out, confirmed up list for you. Okay.
Leave us
Sounds
wondering.
good.
You know, Rick, probably one of the first times that we interfaced was a program that I was working with the city of Kingston to bring to Kingston was called Art Bridge.
Yep.
And the Art Bridge was a program that spanned the Broadway bridges in Midtown Kingston. There was a contest inviting local artists to submit their works, and there was a panel of jurists. They were artists who reviewed hundreds of submissions and selected two, one facing east and one facing west, on those bridges. And they were photographed in super high digital and then printed on a certain kind of digital vinyl mesh that was stretched all across those bridges. And those pieces of artwork always went up right before the Shamrock Run. So it was the great unveiling for the whole community, so everyone would get a chance to really see it for the first time as people were running and marching underneath it. And
Sure, yeah.
And the one of the little wonders of social media reminded me of this memory from the first one being 8 years ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was just before I came on board there.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. It was great.
It was fun. And those they weren't murals. They were these vinyl mesh banners, and they stayed up all through summer. And then at the end, they were taken down and then repurposed, made into tote bags by a women's group that supported a homeless shelter in New York City.
Oh.
So, and I have a couple of them. They're great.
Terrific.
So lots of, but you know, at that time, so much of the arts were going on in Kingston. But today, comparatively, there's just so much happening in the arts that it's just amazing. And a new influx, a new energy has come into that as well. It's just wonderful to see. But I I'm working on a couple things. I would be fascinated. First off, to those who may not know me, Raleigh Green, I have a firm that's locally based. It's an advertising and marketing and branding agency. We also make websites. That's how some people know me. And I've been working focused on the Mid-Hudson Valley now for almost 10 years. And one of the things that's really popular or really a driving force in advertising for the last few years is what's called authenticity, is that companies need to be authentic. And I've gotten questions about this in the past. What does that mean? What is authenticity? Are we all being authentic? Well, advertising in the past at different ages might have said they would launch a product and say it's the greatest, the world's best, or the new and improved. But consumers today are much more sophisticated. And today people are not looking for hyperbole and exaggerations. They're looking to know that there's a certain kind of honesty and trustworthiness and transparency behind it. And a part of that is for companies, when advertising, to show of themselves, to show a part of themselves that's real, that they are a person, or that the people behind the company are real people. People today are seeking experiences that satisfies the soul. So you want to feel nourished. This is very subconscious. You're not walking into a store and says, I want to feel nourished when I'm buying my shoes.
Yeah.
But it is something you want to feel satisfied when going through that experience. Or even something as mundane as propane and heating oil. Okay, we all are familiar with it. Many of us purchased the product. We need it. We just went through a winter time, and it's a utility practically. It really is a utility. So how does a company share itself to become authentic when you're in a position of giving something that people need, like that, where there's a lot of blowback to customers who are upset about a bill or it's expensive and stuff like that? Well, there's certain things that an advertiser can get around to showcase a company, but you want to do it authentically in order to be most effective today. Some things you just can't change. I mean, the price of a product is the price of the product, but how it's delivered, the service is delivered, can be modified. And one of my clients is a company called Kimlin Energy Services out of Gardner. They also have now locations in the town of Ulster on 28, as well as Red Hook. They serve 7 counties up and down the Hudson River now. They've grown quite considerably in the last few years, and it's overseen by third-generation owner, a guy named Max Kimlin. And when I was invited to go and meet with Max a few years ago, when they were looking at rebranding and advertising, I walked into their offices. It was one of those few offices where you walk in, you just feel immediately greeted by a warm and friendliness. And the reason was there are all these dogs. They're little dogs, a little toy Yorkie on someone's desk with a little bowl of water, and then big dogs. There's a German Shepherd, and that makes a wonderful environment. Now, it may not be for everybody, but some people are not as comfortable around dogs. But that was the environment. Now, when I started working with the company and talking with the owners, I realized this company really does love animals. I mean, it's not just, it's just not a perk of being an employee there. They really love their dogs are there too. And so I thought that would be a great concept to share with the community, their passion for animals and animal welfare. And so they were already making some donations to local animal welfare organizations, but it wasn't part of a theme. It was just episodic or, here and there. But we've created now a new program called Kingston Community of Caring, and it is focused on Hudson Valley animal welfare. And Kingston goes around and creates partnerships with the SPCAs around the Hudson Valley, including the Ulster County SPCA, the Dutchess County SPCA, the Hudson Valley SPCA down in New Windsor, as well as organizations like Lost Pets, Hudson Valley Lost Pets and Found, and we have this month we're featuring a organization out of Kerhonkson called Wayward Ranch and Sanctuary, and there are other organizations that we have. And what the Kingston Community of Caring is that we will sponsor, Kingston is now sponsoring on WBPM an advertisement, radio spots to promote these organizations throughout a whole month, giving them free advertising space, and then sharing these stories about animals and how they're cared for and how they need homes with the community at large on their social media, and pushing that information out so that these animals, whether it's a dog, a cat, a horse, a goat, guinea pigs, even ferrets, they need homes. Some of them just need a forever home because they were either abused, not taken care of properly, there were some behavioral issues that needed to be addressed. And so Kingston's created a whole program now, the Community of Caring, to be able to drive funds that they donate, including they donate large amounts of fuel to these organizations, helping them to offset thousands of dollars. They also donate, they recently donated to the Dutchess County SPCA entire tank overhauls worth $10,000, I think, to redo their entire systems, saving them every year thousands of dollars, as well as donations of propane and heating oil.
How do you tie this into your marketing and selling the product for them? I mean, this is all great work they're doing, but the bottom line, I'm sure the reason they hired you is because they want to sell more fuel oil. So how do you take the next step and let people know this? And oh, by the way, we provide great service for the customers.
Well, back to the authenticity. So we had an organization that was just doing things on the side, but wasn't sharing that transparency and showing that they are human too, that they have interests too. So it gives people who are otherwise just picking a commodity. All right. In this case, it's a commodity. I could pick this company or this company. Or they're all roughly the same priced. They all promise more or less the same thing. But in this case, when you purchase from this client, Kingston Energy Services, you know that some of your funds are going to go towards a particular cause. Some call this cause marketing. In this, that's a subset of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the overall thing, and that is extracting a attribute. A true attribute, an authentic attribute of the customer. I did not go into this client and say, "Oh, let's do animal welfare." I just saw the client is just
they're already
super
doing
passionate
this and not letting
about
the public
that, and they weren't
know.
letting people
Yes.
know about this. So as an advertiser, I thought, well, this should be, we'll call it organized, systematized, and shared with the community, because the idea is that it's not just about this client's doing these wonderful things. They're asking the community to join in and help support these specific animals and organizations that are taking care of it. And so for me, as someone who does what I do, advertising and marketing, this is something that I personally love, because as you probably, I'm sure you've seen me with my animals, my dogs. It's something that I personally love. And so this particular initiative just kind of naturally grew out, and it's really starting to blossom at this point. And there's a growing amount of interest in what this company is doing on animal welfare. There's getting a lot of press inquiries. They're getting a lot of inquiries from local organizations to want to jump on board and be a part of it. And the client loves this because it reflects who they are and their values.
For our listeners, we're speaking with Raleigh Green from Raleigh Green Inc. and we're talking about the initiative and program about authenticity in your marketing. And what you're talking about with Kimlin, it also, in my opinion, creates another level of exposure, because I'm pretty sure they're a sponsor for Kingston Happenings site. And then so I can see literally their homepage, and I can see the ad for Kimlin on Kingston Happenings, and then the Forever Home pet ads and information. And so that whole tie-in is because, people are drawn to, the majority of people are pet lovers, and it draws you to that, and you say, oh, right, I'm going to buy this service anyhow, so why not buy it from a corporation agency that's going to go to another good use.
Exactly. If it's just a matter of picking a number, then pick a number that aligns with something that you believe in or you support. And in this case, the company donates considerable funds to a cause that I would venture a number of people would probably support as a general rule. So that's been a fun project that I've been working on and developing to flesh out to the client's delight and to my personal satisfaction as well. It tickles that part of me that as an animal lover.
Great. We sorry to interrupt, Raleigh, but we do have a caller on the line. So caller, go ahead.
Yep. The caller oftentimes likes me to relay their message. The message was always love the dog, man's best friend, as it goes on. So she was inspired by Raleigh's marketing efforts there.
That's very good. Thank
you. Wonderful. We've tied the advertisements have tied in a adorable white and kind of orange Jack Russell that's underneath a blanket.
Oh, yeah.
And the tagline's cozy up with Kimlin. So I've tried to integrate this into an overall advertising and marketing message, and it seems to have seeded reasonably well. But that's something exciting that I've been working on.
Before you go on to the next thing, I just want people to know that Raleigh has, he's done great work. I know he's worked for the city of Kingston County and a myriad of clients. But if people want to get in touch with you, Raleigh, what's the easiest way? Go to your website?
My website has lots of background. It also has my contact information, and the website address is RaleighGreenInc.com. I'll spell that. That's Raleigh, RALEIGH, Green, GREEN, Inc., INC.com. Raleigh like in North Carolina, green as in the color, and ink like in a company.
This guy's he's got a gift of gab, doesn't he? I mean, he's got this marketing going on. But go ahead, Raleigh.
So don't have a lot of time, but another thing that I'm very much aside from animal love is history, and I love history, and I'm on the board of the Hurley Heritage Society, and we've been doing a lot of Zoom presentations every month since the pandemic has come. We just had one with John Fisher.
Sure. Great photographer. Yeah.
Great photographer. And I wanted to give folks a heads up on March 25th, an open and free Zoom lecture presentation will be given by Stephen Blauweiss.
Another great.
And Karen Berlowitz.
Yeah.
And it's called The Birth of Industry, Leisure, and the Arts in the Hudson Valley and Kingston. And it will, these historians will be, they're by the way, they're the producers of the Post Office, the Kingston Post Office book.
And the Lost Rondout.
And the Lost Rondout. This photo talk will be based on their upcoming book, which is The Story of Historic Kingston, a journey through the historic Hudson Valley and its connections with New York City. Featuring over 850 photographs, this photo talk covers the thriving era in Kingston and Hudson Valley history they call the Roaring 1820s, and its intricate relationship with New York City's development.
How do you find out about it?
Go to the HurleyHeritageSociety.org website, and there you will be able to find the link's not up yet, so give me a few more days.
Okay.
But go there, and then you'll get a link to go and sign up to join this lecture. Again, it's free. It will be about an hour and a half, questions and answers to be a session as well. And it's, again, Thursday, March 25th at 7 p.m. Zoom.
Free Zoom.
Free
Hurley
Zoom.
Heritage Society. Stephen Blauweis, Karen Borelowitz. It's so exciting.
It's so exciting, and they do such a great job.
Well,
yeah, they do.
Thanks, Raleigh. We hate to cut you off, but we need to bring you back, but it's about that time. And I want to thank Fran and
Thank you.
Raleigh
Great to see you.
Green, and we'll see you in a couple weeks, a couple Fridays.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Ann.
And thank you. Thank you so much. All the guests today. We had, obviously, Rick Remsnyder and Fran de Petrillo Savoca, and Amber Lee from the Kingston Wire, and Charles Ferry, Star Vodka, and Raleigh Green Inc. Marketing. Thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for sharing the morning at KCR AM 920, 92.5 FM, and our live streaming on mykcr.org. This last segment of Kingston Community Radio has been brought to you by the Kingston Lions Club, serving the Kingston, Ulster County area since 1941. Call them 901-9067 for more information. 901-9067. And until next Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. every weekday, Kingston Community Radio. And until then, we wish you every success in growing and developing Kingston and all our neighboring communities. We now return you to Real Country Radio.
Our bosses, they can do the same. We'll find a big cruise ship and buy the whole dang